Hey everybody. Welcome back to Freedom Algo. We're looking at the 2000 tick ES chart as always. Price is finally starting to move. It was going really slow there for a minute, so looks like we're getting some movement now. So I'm going to talk about the price action here. Let me actually just draw a trend line real quick. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Hope you're having a good start to your week. Hope you all had a good weekend too. Give everybody a second to get in the chat before we start going over these trades. I'm just taking a look at what's going on with the current price action. Finally broke this big up channel, so we'll see if we decide to continue here. Need to draw a short-term channel. Doesn't really fit that well like this, but I'm going to draw it like this anyway just to see if the top holds, because it honestly looks very tight. It actually looks more like this, but I want to give it a second just to see. So we'll wait there. We'll see. Let me know where you are watching from. Let me know. I'm in Oregon, USA, out in the rainforest near the mountains. Let me know where you're watching from. All right, let's see here. Let's see. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to zoom out real quick so we can just take a look and talk about the whole day and what's going on here, because really interesting price action overall. So I want to just make sure that we cover just overall where we're at and everything like that. All right. And if you're just getting in here now, please go and give the video a like. Give the stream a like. Let's get this out to a lot more people. I want to see how many people we can get in here today, because last week we broke our stream record. We had more people liking the video than we had ever had before on a stream. So let's try to see if we can even beat that today, because I have a feeling that today we're going to have an even better stream. So there's already a few likes in here. So let's see what we can do. Let's try to break the stream record and see if we can get more likes and just get this video out to more people. So, oh, and good morning. Good morning. Good to see you, Trader Raider. Good to see you as always, Howard. Everyone else, let me know where you're watching from. Curious who's in the chat. Curious if we got new people in the chat. So really looking forward to connecting with everybody. So basically what we had overnight was this. You can see here this price action. So this is last week on Friday. It was kind of an up day that then went down and then kind of just went sideways. But then the market actually closed on Friday at this level up here. But we had, military conflict and all kinds of stuff going on in the weekend. And so what ended up happening on Sunday was the price opened lower, but it just immediately rallied, came all the way up above where we closed, and then the market, when it opened, filled the gap right away. It tried to go a little lower twice here and then failed and went higher. And we ended up with a rally, but now we're breaking out of the uptrend here. So we'll have to see what this decides to do here. We might go a little bit lower first before we reverse. Now, I would expect us to make a new high at some point here, because that's a pretty strong up move that we had. But there's a couple ways to look at this, so we'll see what we get there. All right. Let's take a look here. And real quick, I'll just, before I get into all the trades, I will tell everybody, check out the link tree. It's pinned in the chat. It's also in the description. It looks like this when you open it. And this will have all of the links to everything that we have. There's our free community in here. You can open that and join completely free. There's a bunch of free courses that are in here. It only takes like a minute to join. And then once you join, you can go into the classroom, get access to all these free courses. You can get our live stream schedule. Tomorrow we have our weekly call in the community. It's a Zoom call. You don't have to join with camera or mic if you don't want, but you can just join. It's a learning opportunity for you. Those get recorded and put in here. We always have the last 5 in this Q&A trading calls course. There's also a community section. You can ask questions, you can post. There's a lot of things that you can learn there. And then, of course, if you want to learn the full strategy, everything I do, soup to nuts, A to Z, you can join the Freedom Algo paid community. It's only $99 a month, and it has everything that I do, exactly what you need to be a trader, trading the same style as me. The classroom has a lot more comprehensive course that has literally everything. I thought of pretty much everything that I could in here, and then I add to it over time whenever there's new opportunities to. There's a lot more in the calendar, and there's a lot more in the community as well. So just everybody, that's all in there if you want to learn more about me and what I do. So let's get into some of these setups. Oh, good morning, Robert. Good morning, Tracy. Good to see you both in the chat. All right, so right here, after that rally, or after that spike, we formed this channel. Now, when I came in this morning, I drew these channels because it looked like we had a separate channel working higher, and then we had a separate channel working lower, and now we didn't have a new low on this down channel. We also didn't have a new high on this up channel. So when we rallied here and we tried to make the new low and failed, you have to expect that you're going to make a new high here, because this tried to get a new low right here and it just didn't happen. So at this point, it also confirms this as an up channel. So at this point, you're thinking, all right, we're probably going to go to the highs. And so there wasn't really any good trade setups in here. There's a second entry short right here, right before the open, but it's just not a good signal bar. It's a doji. There's just no real setup there. So you really had to be patient today. There just wasn't really a great setup early on. I will say this. I didn't mark this trade, but I actually forgot to mark this trade. There is a trade setup here. Totally forgot to mark this one. But it's not one that most people should be taking, because it's a serious trap. I didn't personally take this because I was having an internet issue this morning. I had to reset everything. It was a whole problem. But anyway, so like my chart was being really strange early on. So then I fixed it later on. But anyway, coming down from this high, there's a first entry long, and then there's a pullback. There's actually a second entry long that triggers right here above this bearish bar that then fails. And so this becomes a double trap. So basically, people tried to get long above this, and then people try to get short below this bar. So you have longs that pile on here. They put their stop losses down here somewhere. They all get stopped out, and a bunch of people are piling on short. And then it only goes one tick lower and reverses. And all these people who are short have their stops like right there, right here, and above this swing. And so all the shorts get stopped out after. So it basically stops the longs that are too early. Then it stops the shorts who are wrong about the move. And then it reverses on them. And that's a nice little trap setup. It's way more advanced. It does basically come right off this trend line. But the problem with it was it wasn't a perfect trend line. Like this swing just kind of misses it there. So if this was more of a perfect trend line, then it would probably be a little bit of a better setup. But I wanted to mark it just so that everybody knows there was an early trade that you could have taken there just to ride back to the EMA for a scalp and then hopefully ride all the way back up to the highs. Now it ends up going much further. You don't know that at the time, but it shoots all the way up. Then it turns into a spike and channel. So at this point, there's two ways to draw this channel. Now, again, this is where I had to go and reset my internet. So during this up channel, I missed most of this move and I came back and it was already kind of completed. I kind of got back in right as the second entry here formed. And I was able to just barely get here in time for that. So anyway, this is how it went. So basically, when I got back, there was this swing here, right when I got back. So I drew a trend line from this low to here, thinking maybe it'll rally from there. And when it gives the higher low right off of there, that's a nice spot. But the other thing is, if you had the shorter trend line here, this one, this little channel off of this low, then basically what you have here is it comes off of this kind of area and this area to confirm. And you could kind of look at this as a closeout side. And then at this point, you need a new extreme. So you could say we got to close outside and we're looking for a new high on this channel. So right here, there is a pullback, first entry long, pullback. This is a second entry long above this bar. I marked it green though, because even though it is a close outside of the channel, there's reasons to like it. This is really a double top here. So it's kind of like a first entry. It is technically a pullback first entry, pullback second entry, because you can treat the double top. You can treat this like a lower high and treat it like a first leg. But it's just kind of sideways there, so it's a little dicey. It's not perfect. So I wanted a higher low, and you actually get a higher low after the second entry long, and it's also a second entry long on its own, because you could see this as a double top. So you could say first entry, second entry. That's the best setup today. If you took this trade, you also get a runner on it. It doesn't run super far. You know, it goes about 7 points. But if you just measured to the high, there's 3.75 points there. So even if you just set your limit order at like the high, at like 3.75 points, you could have your limit order just exit the runner there, and that's still a nice setup, nice trade. Or you could move your stop up, like something like that, and you could still get a really nice little move out of that. Breaks down here, and we have this short-term down channel in play, and we actually get a failed second entry long that's a trap. So you have a new high, you have a pullback, you have a first entry long, pullback, really bullish bar, second entry long, one tick above it, that immediately traps everybody. Now the reason we don't take a long here is because, one, it closes below the EMA. Two, it's still in the short-term trend line. It can close below the EMA sometimes if you're not paying, if the EMA is kind of sideways, which it is a little bit here. The bigger thing though is that the short-term down channel's in play. So you don't want to long that. So instead, I entered one tick below this bar short and just rode this to the low. And so that was a nice little scalp, easy trade. And at this point, I was thinking that we might try to make a new high on this wider channel. But I think what really happened was the shorter channel here was the one. It got the close outside, it got two legs to a new high, and now it reversed. So you end up not getting a new high there. And then this little wider down channel forms. And then, let me see here. All right, so yeah, Toad, I'm not sure what you meant there. Nice reading of the down channel. That's a super hard one to take, but almost amazing if took. I'm not sure. Oh, do you mean the failed second entry? That's a nice one. I think that might be what you're talking about. Well, good to see you in here. All right, so I'll talk more about these trades in a second. I just want to see, answer some of these questions. And real quick, before I answer Howard's question here, everybody please give the video a like. Let's get to an all-time high on likes again. We had an all-time high on likes on Friday. I think we can beat it today. It's a Monday. Let's go. We've already got 12 likes on here from what I can see. There might be more. Sometimes it lags when I refresh. But I think we can get a lot more than this. Let's go. Let's get it up there. Everybody in the video, just get this thing out there. Let's go. All right. So let me see this question. So the question here was, do I think people who trade the NQ are just addicted to volatility and dopamine spikes? Sorry, that one got me. All right, so do I I don't know why that one got me. That one made me laugh. So thanks for the funny question. All right, so do I think that people who trade the NQ are just addicted to volatility and dopamine spikes? Yeah, 100%. I think that is a big part of it. I think a lot of people who trade the NQ, they're obsessed with the fact that the volatility is extremely high, so they can catch these YOLO crazy trade moves. But in reality, it's not efficient, because if you're trading an asset that moves super volatile, like, you're going to get stopped out more often. You're going to have weird stuff happen with your fills. There's going to be stuff where it just wicks completely through and your stop loss gets filled in the wrong spot and you just take a bigger loss than you planned. There's so much wrong with high volatility assets. And so one thing that you can look out for is, like, just think of it like this. You know, would you rather trade a stock that's reliable, moves consistently, it's relatively predictable with how it moves, or a penny stock that goes bonkers? Well, the thing is, a lot of people choose the penny stock option because they think that they're going to get rich that way. And that's the same thing with NQ. It's short-term gratification. It's kind of that gambler mentality a lot of the time. Now, I know that some people can trade it effectively, but the reality is it moves in a way that messes up most traders. And with the rise of all the prop firms, that's caused some problems as well, because a lot of the prop firms don't adjust how many contracts you can trade based on the futures contract. So the ES, when you're trading a cash account, it's only half the cost to enter an ES contract as it is to enter an NQ contract. But on a prop account, they don't even delineate. So like if you have an account that lets you trade 10 futures contracts, you can trade 10 NQ contracts or 10 ES contracts. But that's not what you would do with a cash account. So that has caused some problems as well. So people trading prop accounts are constantly trading NQ, and I think a lot of them just don't know any better, unfortunately. So that's just what I see. So hopefully that answers it. But yeah, I will say this. I'll say this. This is another way to answer that question too. Okay. Oh, thanks for clarifying. He meant the double trap. Yeah, the double trap that double trap was a nice one over here. I liked that one. This trap was also decent, but the double trap over here was pretty sweet. Unfortunately, like I said, I was having some weird connection problems this morning. I had to like do a whole thing. I had to reset my computer, do updates. Then I had to update NinjaTrader. Then I had to go and reset my Wi-Fi router. It was like a whole thing. All right, so back to Howard real quick. So I mostly answered that question, but what I'll also say is this. So do I think that NQ traders are just looking for the dopamine spikes? And I think that the answer is yes. Most of the time, NQ traders are just chasing that dopamine spike, because a lot of traders, they get into this and they get addicted to the feeling of having a winning trade, just like gamblers get addicted to the feeling of winning. But that's not good for your strategy. If you feel like you're getting all messed up with your dopamine, your cortisol, everything's going all over the place, then you're trading with too big of a position size and you are not being sustainable in your approach. So that's the main thing. Trading the ES makes it a lot easier to control that because of how like reliable it is and how it moves and how it respects the price action. NQ gets those crazy wicks that just stop people out all the time, and they don't respect the price action as much. So when you enter, you have to break your own rules with your stop losses and do a lot of weird stuff with unless you're trading a larger size chart. But then if you're doing that, you're probably going to be so over leveraged. All right, so let me get into this section here. Yeah, so I think that's a good point. Price action works on everything, right? It works on everything. Like, it doesn't matter the asset. As long as the asset has enough volume behind it, it works. So you can trade NQ with the same strategies I use on ES. You can trade crude oil with it. You can trade Bitcoin with it. I mean, I use the same strategies when I trade long-term stocks and long-term crypto and stuff like that. But you're right. The thing is, though, like the rules that we follow, where we put our stop loss one tick below the signal bar and enter one tick above and all that sort of stuff, a lot of that stuff gets messed up with trading NQ because the wicks will go just slightly further than you expect. So you have to like give yourself more wiggle room, which causes you to run more risk on your trades a lot of the times. So yes, the trend line is still in play and you still have to pay attention to the same price action rules, but you just have to be aware that the volatility spikes cause it to not be as clean. So that makes sense. All right, so let's see here. I want to make sure I didn't miss any comments, so give me 1 second. Okay, so this is a good question, actually. Do I think that there's any value in tinkering with the tick charts because you're seeing better entries on the 1500 tick, but you don't know if it makes sense? Yeah, so yes and no to this question. So I think that the 2000 tick chart is the best one. That's the one I trade. That's the one I stick with. I have experimented with this. I've traded the 1000 tick chart. I've traded the 1200 tick chart. I've traded the 1500 before. And what I can say is that they do work just like the 2000 tick, as long as you don't go lower than probably about 1200. If you start going lower than 1200 ticks on the ES, what you're going to find is that you'll get a lot more false signals and whatnot with like the second entries and everything. But the other problem is, still when you go lower than the 2000, you get a lot more nuance in the price action, and sometimes the legs don't look as clean. So like go look at a spot on the chart like this, and what you'll see is that there might be like, this might be like a third entry on like the 1500 or something. You just get some weird stuff that happens like that. So you have to be able to discern what a real swing is in your trading when you're doing that. You will sometimes get a better entry, but you'll also have more spots where your second entries will actually be like a third entry or something like that, technically. But you have to understand how to look at legs. So I think that when you go lower than 2000 tick, it just confuses most traders. So your mileage will vary with it, but I like it better just sticking with the 2000 tick myself. Just keep it simple. Stick with it. It works better. The other thing to consider is that when you're on the 2000 tick, the signal bar is going to be even more reliable. So putting your stop below it is going to be even more reliable. So that's at least how I see it. Oh, and thank you. I appreciate that. That's good feedback. Appreciate that. All right, so here's what I wanted to talk about. So when we came down to this trend line, we actually have a perfect bounce off of it, basically right here. We get a double bottom and bounce. The problem is there's kind of a wider down channel in play, and that's not a good way to trade, to just take a trade off of a trend line. What you need here for this to be accurate is, one, you need there to not be a down channel in play anymore. And then two, you need really like a higher low to confirm here, and you don't get one. So I wanted to just talk about that, so I put that arrow there. We can get rid of that now. And then, and again, that's not our strategy. Like, you don't just take a trend line like this and take longs off the bottom. Like, you have to have an actual setup that confirms. Then here, there's a first entry short, second entry short that fails, but you can't take the failure here. And I wanted to talk about this too. Technically, this is a good spot where a failure would form. The problem is this is too sideways up here. You're expecting a new high in the short-term up channel, but you don't have enough room. If you measure from this candle, there's only 2 ticks to the high. So you don't have enough room to get a scalp there. So there is a failed second entry short here, but again, it needed to form lower for you to get an entry to have room to the high, and you just don't get that here. It does make a new high, but you can see it probably would have failed on you if you took that, my guess. Yeah, you would have basically gotten, it might have filled you on 4 ticks, or it might have not hit your limit order, or not filled your limit order, and you would have actually lost that trade. So I wanted to mark that as just an area of like, for learning. It's a good looking failure. The problem is it just forms too high up, so you can't take it. But it's where you want a failure. It's above the EMA. It's after a spot where you expect the reversal. It's like a higher low after this. It's moved too far, but it's still there. So then this comes down. Now it looks like, you know, this is probably, honestly, that might be the break right there. I think that's probably the break of this little channel here, right here. So this was the close outside. Move to a new low on this down channel is played out. We might get a new low on this one. It's hard to say. But I'm still expecting a new high on the overall up channel today. That's totally feasible. If you're just joining the video now, if you're just joining the stream now, please give it a like. We're trying to get to an all-time high on likes. We got to an all-time high on likes on Friday's stream, and I really want to beat it today. I just want to see. We got a lot of people in the stream right now, so let's see if we can beat it. We're doing decent. We're on track, maybe, but we need a lot more people to like the video, so let's get it going. All right. So we'll see what happens here with this price action. It's kind of in a dicey spot because we might just get a new low here. We might come back to the close and see if we can find some support at last week's close. Hopefully we rally and start to make a new high here soon, because that would be a really nice, it would be nice if we could get some sort of a new uptrend that forms. And what we'd want to do is kind of look for, we're going to zoom out real quick and look at this. Yeah, I don't see much setups in there yet, so we'll just be patient. And real quick, if you're just joining later now, go to the link tree. It's in the chat. You can also go to it in the description. You can join the free school community and get access to the free courses in there. It's right here. Super simple. to join. It takes like a minute to join, and then you get access to all the free courses. You get access to the calendar, the stream schedule, tomorrow's Zoom call that we do, this free Zoom call. There's a bunch of other stuff in here. And then if you want my whole strategy and how I do everything, how I trade every single day, then you can join the paid community. It's only $99 a month. I've been doing a bonus lately. For any new people that join, I'll follow up with you with a free bonus as well. So check that out. And yeah, and then everything else is just in here. So you can check that all out. All right. Let's see. And let me know in the chat, what are you drinking? I'm drinking green tea. So let me know in the chat. Just curious. Trying to see what everybody's up to. What are you guys drinking? I got green tea here. It's early. So hopefully everyone's just drinking water, coffee, green tea, something like that. All right, so you said, would I say NQ attracts traders who couldn't develop the discipline to trade the ES? Yeah, I think that NQ brings in a lot of gambling mentality traders. And you see this a lot. You see a lot of people enter trading NQ with these really weird strategies where they think that they're going to take these trades that are going to give them a huge win. It kind of brings in, like back when I got into trading in 2017, it was like during the crypto bull market. And everybody was like, to the moon, to the moon, to the moon. And it brings in that mentality. It's people who think that they're going to get rich trading in a matter of weeks. And it's unfortunate. Now, I do think that you can trade the NQ effectively if you know what you're doing. But I just think it's not beginner friendly. And unfortunately, most of the beginners start there because they see it as the biggest upside. But it's the same thing with like crypto. Like, I'm long-term on Bitcoin. But like, I don't go like long-term with a big portion of my portfolio into altcoins. I keep like 80% of my portfolio or more in Bitcoin. And then 20% I will spread out amongst altcoins. I would never, and it's like, because it's smarter to be in the stable asset. And the ES is a much more stable asset to trade than the NQ. Yeah, so VJ, the only thing that's on my chart is this 21 EMA. So the white line here is my 21 EMA. That's pretty much the only thing on my chart is the 21 EMA, 2,000 tick chart ES. The dotted line is yesterday's close, which actually is technically Friday's close. And then I usually have a yellow line where the price opened, but the thing that plots it is messed up because whenever we have a holiday, which last week we had one, it messes up the thing that plots the opening price. So I just have a thing that plots the prices, or plots those on there. You don't need them, but this is just yesterday's close, technically Friday's close. The white line's the 21 EMA. Everything else is my lines that I draw. And then this here is just a tick counter that counts down from 2,000 ticks and has the bid and the ask lines on there. Do we have a possible wider downtrend? Let me see. I haven't actually mapped it out yet because I've been looking at the chat. So let's see. You could draw one, but no, this is looking pretty janky to me. But maybe, I mean, it's possible. We could at least draw it and just see. You know, the midline kind of fits. Here, let me just make sure I got that right. So. Not bad, I guess. Not bad. We could keep it on there just in case. But I don't know. It doesn't. This swing and this swing are different. It doesn't fit very well. I mean, I think more likely scenario is two big legs. 1, 2, which is where we are right now. Basically, two big legs down. So we could see a reversal here pretty soon. Would not surprise me. We just made a new low on that down channel. So we could see a reversal here. That made the new low. We got the measured move perfectly right there. We close outside, make a new low. Could we see a higher low and a rally? Yeah, we totally could. Oh, for sure, man. For sure. So you were from... oh, I thought you were the other VJ. So I have... There's a more than one VJ that comes around. So we have a VJ that's in the paid community. So I actually thought that you were that VJ. But cool. Yeah, glad to hear from you. And yeah, I think we were chatting earlier. Let me see. Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's you. Okay, cool. Cool. Yep, I just want to make sure that I had the right person. All right. Move that out the way. All right. Cool. So let's see if we get the higher low here. We might. We might. We might. Yeah, and so, you know, going back, Howard, I'm going to go back to your other question too, just about like discipline and whatnot. You know, one thing I see a lot with the traders who are trading NQ in the early days is that they try to do these strategies where they like take these like small losses to try to get a huge win. I just think that that is a crazy way to trade, like to just take a bunch of small losses to try to catch a big win. It just isn't like good for your psychology. Like, how could you handle taking like 5, 6 losses and then try to make it all back in one win? I just feel like that's a bad way to play the game. You know, it's like, that's like doubling down every time that you lose a bet. It's just like, to me, it's not a good move. I mean, it's technically a little different because you're not actually doubling the size, but you get the idea. It's like if you keep losing, why do you keep entering? It's just not a good move. I actually was talking about this the other day with somebody. Like, the way I see it is, if you're a fighter, it would be a crazy strategy to just take a bunch of punches the whole fight and then just try to get one haymaker. Like, that's a crazy way to box. In reality, you want to be taking like small hits the whole time and weakening your opponent, and then occasionally you get like a nice knockout punch. But you're trying to weaken the opponent over time. You're not just going to sit there and just like play defense and take hits, and just try to get one opportunistic punch. Like, that's a crazy way to play the game. So that's how I see it. I have been trading for, I don't know, since 2017. So I guess I'm on my 8th year, I guess that would be. So 2017 is when I started. All right, so let's see here. I see this down channel is just not, it's not looking ideal, as you can see. Here, actually, I want to listen to a different track here. Hold on, give me one sec. Let's go with, I want to listen to this track. A little more chill. All right. And we're just listening to my music. I play the handpan, so this is just my music that we're listening to. All right. Okay. Actually like that question a lot. I like this question a lot. So Dumb Destroyer, you asked, and by the way, I don't know if you're in the I never know people's YouTube names in the early days, so I don't know if you're already in the free community, but definitely join the free community if you're not already. Hopefully you're already in there. But the free school community, I mean. But what I was going to say is, to Dumb Destroyer, you asked, you know, what's my opinion on scalping 4 ticks? You think that many beginners would be better off scalping closer to 1-to-1. Getting most of the trades right is hard as a beginner. So there is something to this, but I think that just going for 4 ticks is not necessarily the best way. I think the best way to do it is to base your scalp on the 21 period ATR. So I look at the 21 ATR, and that's how I decide what my scalp is going to be. And so I go for 4 ticks only if the ATR is below a 3. If the 21 period ATR starts to get above a 3, I start going for 6 ticks. If it starts getting above like a 4.5, I start going for 8 ticks. If it starts getting above like a 6, I'm going to go for like 10 ticks, and so on. So like during that time when we had really crazy volatility, there was one day where my scalp target was 20 ticks instead of 4 ticks. So that's how I play it. And so yes, you are still trading with a risk reward where your loss is going to be bigger than your scalp target. However, I think that that's still the way to do it, because if you start going for a 1-to-1, the problem is going to be that you're entering in spots where you're just not going to get it a lot of the times. Like, you know, it can work, right? Like even here, like if you did a 1-to-1 on this trade earlier, it would have worked. On this trade, it would have worked. On this trade, you would have had a loss. I think. Maybe you have enough room. No, you probably would have had a win, but it would have been real close. And so you just have to be careful going for a 1-to-1. You can do it. You definitely can do it. You just have to understand that if you are going for a 1-to-1, you are going to get some losses that would have worked if you scalped. So I think it's totally feasible. I think you just have to be okay with that. If you go for the actual scalp target based on the ATR, you're 99.9% chance you're going to get your scalp as long as you read the market right. With a 1-to-1, that 99% chance changes. You don't have a 99% chance because sometimes the move has gone too far and the candle might be huge. And so a 1-to-1 target might be large, or it might make it so you can't get to the low before you get out. There's a lot of nuance to it. So anyway, I know that that's a longer answer, but I personally think that beginners have a better chance doing it the way that we do it. Just going for the scalp target, the way that we do it, and just keeping their win rate high. And I think that beginners can have a high win rate as long as they're selective. For example, there's some people that have gone through that have, like, I was talking to somebody in my community recently, and they had 15 trades in a row that were winners. So think about that. 15 trades in a row that were winners going for scalp target. Even if you take a loss, even if you take a 25 tick loss after that, you're still so up on your account like that. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I want to get to the other questions here. So Jay, you asked a question. So by the way, everybody who's in the stream, give the video a like. Let's get as many likes as we can. I want to get this thing to an all-time high on likes. We got there on Friday. I think we can beat it today. I really do. The stream was pretty long on Friday, so maybe that's part of it, but I think we can get there. So give the video a like. And then also, I'm going to answer the rest of these questions, but real quick, also check the link tree. It's in the chat. It's also in the description. It'll open this, and you can join my completely free day trading courses and free school community where you can get access. It takes like a minute to join this. The classroom has a bunch of free courses, really comprehensive. There's a lot of stuff here in the calendar. There's a bunch of stuff in the community. And then also, if you want the full strategy, join the paid community, which is only $99 a month. And in here, this has the full classroom, the full course that has everything you need to trade exactly the way I do. The free community will get you far, but the paid community will get you to the full strategy and exactly how we do it. And it also gives you a lot of other benefits like my chart updates throughout the session, the private Discord, everything else that's in there. All right, so let's get to these questions. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, anybody who's joining the paid community right now is getting bonuses, and I will DM you after you join the paid community with what those are. So, thoughts on... All right, so this one was thoughts on trading trend shifts using trend lines on the 15-second chart. All right, so I have 3-to-1, 10-to-1, starts melting off, opens the door to mega R multiples. Okay, so I don't trade the 15-second chart. I trade the 2,000 tick chart only. So I just trade this chart, just the 2,000 tick chart. If you have a scalp strategy that works on the 15-second, like you're saying, that gets you like a really good R multiple and it's like got really good results for you, then hey, you know, I always say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if you have a strategy that's working for you, then just keep doing it. Don't mess around with changing it. But if you're asking about it right now and you're asking me about it and you see that I'm trading the tick chart, then there might be some problems with that strategy. That's just my guess, and no offense, but like, you know, I just see that like sometimes people will ask me questions about strategies that they're doing and stuff, and it's like, to me, if you found a strategy from someone else and they swear that it works, and then you went and tested it and then you're not getting profitability with it, then just, it probably isn't the best. With the 2,000 tick chart and this strategy has worked over time consistently for a long time. And you can go back and see like every live stream that I do, all the videos. You can see me reviewing all the trades and showing them and answering questions, and you'll see that this strategy just works. So the strategy you're asking about, I can't speak to because I don't really know it, but I just stick with this. Just price action, 2,000 tick ES chart. I don't mess around. This is the only chart I look at. And to your follow-up there, you said, hey, if the 15-second is more clear to you, that's fine. You know, that's fine. Like, I think if you like that, then, and it's working for you, then you can definitely trade that. I just think that you get a lot more out of tick charts, because with tick charts, you get more price action. And a lot of the times when the market's moving faster, it is moving in 15-second bursts. But right now, the market's moving slower. So that makes the 15-second less reliable, because the volume is actually really low right now. So if you were trading the 15-second, it's probably going to give you some false signals, because the volume is actually pretty low. The tick chart changes at the speed at which it prints based on the volume of transactions. So that really gives you insight into whether or not the move is reliable or not. It's a key part of my edge in trading. Trading, I don't know what trade. Okay, so I'd never trade breakouts. I fade breakouts. I think that when we get so the way I look at trend lines is, if we get a close outside of a trend line, I expect it to move to a new extreme. And that's how I play it. I don't, like, so if your question is, like, if we have a downtrend and it breaks out of the top, you just go long? No way. I'd never trade like that. I wait for confirmations with price action. So that's the way I do it. All right, and then I see another comment here. Hey, thank you, man. Hey, Dumb Destroyer, I just want to say, man, I appreciate that feedback. I appreciate that. And yeah, I keep it really simple. Like I said, like, I have, and like, look, think of it like this. If you have the 21 period ATR, you can't actually see my ATR because I have this bar at the top. Let me see if I can. Whoops. I'm trying to show you here. If you look at the top of my chart right there, I'll just turn off this bar. You can see my ATR. It's a 3.06 right now. So it's a 3.06 ATR. That means that we need to go for a target that is probably 6 ticks instead of 4 ticks, because we're over a 3. Now, I will say this. You have to have a little bit of leeway there. So a lot of times if it's right around a 3, I'll still keep it at 4. But when we get to like a 3.1 ATR, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to switch to 6 ticks now. And that's the way that I do it. And basically what I do is I make my scalp target a little bit more than half of the 21 period ATR. So if the ATR is a 2, that means that half the ATR is 1 point, right? I never go less than a point, by the way. Like, if the ATR was less, like starting to get less than a 2, I probably just wouldn't even be trading, because it would probably mean that the market's just not moving. And you only ever really see that on like a holiday. So yeah, I cover this all in my paid course, like the exact kind of ways that I do it. I think I even have some videos in my paid community. I have all like the old recordings and everything. I even have some videos like in there where I put it into a spreadsheet and I show different ways that I look at it and how I do it. So that's all in there. And whatnot. So you'll learn more about like my exact methodology for how I do that in the paid course. But yeah, I just think that to be honest with you, I think it's irresponsible to go for 4 ticks always. I think it's irresponsible, because imagine the ATR is a 10, right? What are you doing going for 4 ticks? Like, your stop loss is probably like 30, probably like 60 ticks. Like, it's crazy to me to go for 4 ticks when your stop loss is 60 ticks. That just makes no sense. Now, at the same time, if you go too big, so if the ATR is only like, let's say a 2.5, and you're going for 8 ticks, you're going to take losses. You're just going to take them because it's not going to go 8 ticks on you sometimes. So I think, I know that some patch traders, they always go for at least 8 ticks on their scalp. I think that's a bad way to do it too. I also think another bad way to do it is to enter on limit orders. I think you need to enter on stop orders 1 tick above or below the bar, because a lot of times the best trades just take off. So if you try to just enter on limit orders like a few ticks back just to get a slightly better entry, you're going to miss the best trades like a lot of the times. So I don't think that that's a good way to do it either. All right, so hopefully that all helps. Okay, you asked, have I ever tried using a single color chart and switching to the bar chart? You know, a guy who trades for a firm uses Bloomberg. No. Hey, listen. Hey, I like all the questions, but I'll say this. I keep it really consistent. I don't mess around with my strategy. I keep my strategy exactly as is. When I was younger in my career, I used to mess around with my strategy all the time. I would change things. I would be trying out different techniques. I'd be adding indicators. I'd be doing all kinds of stuff. I stopped messing around with all that, and I just do one thing now, which is I look at the 2000 tick chart, the ES only. I have a 21 EMA on there. That's it. This is the only thing I look at. I draw everything. I enter all my trades based on very specific criteria. I trade only price action with very specific rules. I teach all of the rules and everything I do completely in my paid community. That's only $99 a month. It's in the link tree, and that's it. I don't mess around with anything. I don't add things to my chart. I don't change things. I keep it super simple. That might sound boring, but it works because now every single day I find the trades I need in basically 2 hours and I'm done for the day. It's amazing. Like you can't ask for more. The win rate with this will stay over 90% as long as you only take the best trades, and it's just amazing. So that's the way I look at it. I think you already asked me how long I've been trading for, or at least somebody asked me. But someone asked me how long I've been trading for. I've been trading for, this is my 8th year because I started in 2017. And I never had a specific mentor, but I did learn through Mac, who runs Price Action Trading System. So I learned through him. I bought his manual a long time ago and subscribed to his membership for his site. Went through all his stuff, learned as much as I could from Mac. Yeah, it wasn't you. It was someone else. I just looked. But yeah, someone else. So I learned from Mac, from Price Action Trading System. He's got a YouTube channel called Pat's Trading. I'm not affiliated with him or anything. I got nothing but respect for Mac. I learned from him. But the way that I do it is very slightly different because I change my targets based on the ATR. So that is a little bit of a difference. And also, there's a couple of things I do a little different than the way that he does it. It's not like a completely different system or anything, but there's a few things that I do differently. Like you'll notice that sometimes I don't mark trades that he marks, and there's different reasons for that I go over all in my paid community too. But yeah, I basically, unfortunately, didn't have a really great mentor who could take me through this. So later on, when I got to a point where I was really happy with my trading, I started a paid community course, and I started to help people. Well, first I started helping people for free, and I've had a free Discord for a long time. And then later on, I started a paid course, and I built everything out, and I basically created exactly what I wish I had when I started. That's what I created. I also have, let me see if I can get it. I also have this, which is like the, see if you can see that. These are like the Al Brooks books. So I have like the 3 Al Brooks books. I didn't go through his course or anything like that. But I found that the books to not be super great. They're just really dense and not very well written. So I did buy those thinking that they were going to help me, and they didn't really help me. So just letting everyone know, like, not that I'm speaking badly about it. I do, maybe one day I'll go back through them and see if there's any like good stuff in there, but I just found like his methodology to not really be the best for how I understand price action. So and I've taken other courses and tried to like learn from other people, and just none of it really worked. I tried some other price action traders and their materials for a little bit, and I found it not to be like very good for me. So really the only thing that I'd say really helped me in the process was Mac's manual and his videos and his membership. So yeah, that's about it. And then a lot of trial and error. And sorry, my dog is being super loud. Hey, Vinny, chill. What is that? Hang on a second. Gotta go. You out, bud? Hey, sorry about that. I had to let the dog out. He was being a pain in the butt. Anyway, hey, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining. And let's get as many likes as we can on the video. So let's go. I'm trying to get it to an all-time high on likes like we did on Friday. So let's go and see if we can get more likes. We're getting close. We're definitely getting close. So just keep giving the video some likes. If you haven't already, give it a like. And let's go. And then real quick, again, I was just talking about this, but go to the link tree and you can see what I'm talking about with my free courses. They're in here at the first link, the free school community, and then the paid community. The paid community is really what you want if you want to be overall like super effective in this space. I mean, like everything I do in here, there's videos that explain it, but the paid community is what you're going to want to join if you really want to learn this, because throughout the day, I'm posting these updates. Like you can see this is from today. Like I'm actually posting the chart that we're going over, showing the trades, exactly where I'm drawing my trend lines. I post these in here, and I also post them in a private Discord section for the paid members. And I like, there's more commentary in the Discord as well. There's a lot of information in here. And then I have the course. Everything's in here. So it's not just about taking the course. It's about learning in real time. So every day we're doing this, and then we go live. We have our Zoom calls. You get extra Zoom calls in the paid community as well. So we do it right now. We're doing it on Wednesdays. We do a Zoom call on Wednesdays. We have a free Zoom call in the free community on Tuesdays, but we have a more comprehensive one on Wednesdays for the paid community where we really go deep. And honestly, it's even better than the course, I think, because we go over the market in real time, and I literally show everything that I teach in the course. I just show it on the chart and everything. So it looks like we're breaking out here. I don't think this downtrend is like really effective here. So we probably have something steeper happening here. I don't think that this is the move here. We made our measured leg already, so we could still go down further. We could have a slightly wider one that looks more like this happening. That seems a little bit more accurate, but we just got to be patient here and see what it does. Coming back towards that close price. All right, so do I think the key is really about following a simple strategy that you can execute flawlessly? And maybe every strategy can work if it meets this criteria. Look, yeah, there's all right. There are more than one way. Oh, sorry, there is more than one way to be successful as a trader, and there are many strategies that can work. And I think that what it comes down to is you need to have a strategy that is good for you psychologically and meets your personality and has an edge. So that's a tall order, right? What I found is that the way that I trade with price action scalping and having a high win rate is better psychologically than a lot of other strategies. Most people that teach these strategies out there where they trade with like a really great risk reward, where let's say they're trading with like a 1 to 3 where they only need to win one trade to make back 3 losses. Those strategies don't work very well most of the time, because most people, even if you have an edge where that could work, let's say you have a 50% win rate with a strategy like that, you would be profitable over time. The problem is most people can't handle taking that many losses without breaking the rules and staying consistent on it. And so I just find that it's not worth it. And also most people get annoyed because if they go, you know, let's say 2 times their position into profit and they're waiting for it to get to their take profit and it just misses it and then they lose the whole trade or they break even or whatever, it's just not good psychologically. You left so much money on the table. So by doing the scalping techniques, you can lock in profit every single trade and then have runners, and that's just so much better psychologically. All right. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Gotta type something. All right. I'm gonna have to wrap up here soon, guys, because I have a call with the mentorship group. So the people that are in my mentorship in my paid community, I have a call with them right after this. It'll be a Zoom call in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up the stream here soon, but I appreciate everybody for joining. Like, this has been super fun. We're going to be at it same time tomorrow. And what I was going to say is that if you haven't liked the video, give it a like right now. Let's get it cruising, just so we can get it out before we wrap up the stream. And to everybody who's joining a little bit later here, check out the link tree that's in the description and also pinned in the chat if you want to see the free community, the free courses, and then also my paid community and paid courses. It's only $99 a month. You can lock in that price. It has a 7-day money back guarantee as well. So if you do lock it in, or if you do start, like, there's really no risk to try it out and see if it's going to work for you. But the thing that's nice is that I'm doing bonuses right now. So if you join the paid community, there's some bonuses that are involved with that. And I will be sending you a personal message if you join. So this is it right here. This is the paid community. I'll be sending you a personal message after you join with what those bonuses look like and what that is. So here it is. You can check that out. Here's the free community right in the link tree. You can join this super quickly, super easily. And the community has grown quite a bit. Whoops, I didn't mean to maximize that. Community has grown quite a bit, so that's been really cool to see. And yeah, I appreciate everybody who's asking good questions. I appreciate the good conversation with everybody. And let me know if there's any last minute questions or anything else that you want to say. Put it in now, because I'm going to wrap up the stream here in about 2 minutes. Alright, let's see. I don't see anything else, so I'll make sure I don't miss anything. Alright, let's see. Alright, I don't think there's any other ones, so making sure I didn't miss anything. Alright. Hey everybody, thanks for joining today. Again, if you haven't done so already, like the video so that we got more people getting the streams out to more people. And then also definitely check out the descriptions, check out the live chat for those links to the link tree, to the free community, the free courses, the paid community and paid courses. It looks like we do have a nice little downtrend channel in play, so this could keep going. So what we would be looking for is possible second entry shorts. Just depends on how this plays here. So right now it's too low, so you got to wait for it to come back to the key entry point. But just be patient. Just be patient today. There's not as many setups as I expected, but there are some good ones. And it was a good trading day overall. Really good way to start the week. And I appreciate everybody who joined. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. Right after I end the stream, I'm actually going to set up the new one scheduled for tomorrow. That way you can hit the notification on it. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all, and I will see you all tomorrow.